Hi everybody, it's me, Lucas, aka the Blue Time Force Power Ranger. And today I'm going to talk about um, Power Rangers Time Force technically being the last season that Siobhan would do before Siobhan would sell Power Rangers over to Disney. And the first thing I'm also going to talk about is that there seems to be some people out here that start to confuse over the whole Time Force thing. Now, Time Force takes place in the year 3000, but then they go to the year 2001 AD though. And Power Rangers Space Patrol Delta takes place in the year 2025, I guess 2025 80s, okay? Now, regardless of that, I'm going to talk about my experience as a Time Force police officer slash Time Force Blue Power Ranger. The first thing that you need to understand about Power Rangers Time Force is that we travel through time, obviously. I mean, the only experience we've had with time travel, or at least I went for time travel, was when we had to go back to the year 2001 AD to stop Ranzik and his crew from causing trouble back then. We were in charge. Ranzik was convicted of various crimes, felonies, misdemeanors, everything from arson to vandalism, kidnapping, extortion, blackmail, murder, rape, anything you name it. Ranzik money, money laundering, illegal drug trafficking, counterfeiting, anything that Ranzik did, any crime you can think of, Ranzik did. Um, so we finally brought him in, and he was put on trial, and the jury found him guilty of all his crimes, and then the judge sentenced him for his prison time. Only he escaped. There was a trick, obviously. His daughter had tricked us into thinking she was injured, blew up guess you would call it the prison truck or whatever, and they somehow figured out how to they somehow stole a time ship, I guess you call it that, and supposedly killed Alex, who was technically one of a descendant of Wesley Covens, Alex Covens, and Captain Logan, who was in charge of Time Force at the time. So Captain Logan allowed us to go back in time to capture Ranzik, and Alex was still alive, and he okay. So one thing about Time Force that differs and he was still alive. He came back. He had little problems with Jennifer. Well, Jennifer kind of had a thing for Wesley because Wesley kind of looked like Alex, but this is a whole different story but that's the thing. Eventually, we were able to capture Ranzik. Ranzik eventually changed his ways. Ranzik did help us along with the Wild Force Power Rangers during the Mutant Org arc that was going on. Now, here we go. The one thing about us that make we are different from all the other Power Rangers is our Morphers has a lockout. If you don't have the DNA, then the Morpher won't work for you. So many different Power Rangers, from Mighty Morphin, Zeo, Turbo in Space, Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, Wild Force, Ninja Sword, Dino Thunder, Space Patrol Delta, Mystic Force, Operation Overdrive, Jungle Fury, Ranger Motor Engine, Samurai, and Mystic and Mega Force. They all had a problem when anyone could take a Morpher. So our Morphers were basically linked with us. So technically, if you didn't have the right DNA or something, you weren't going to get control of that Morpher. One of the things we did when we went back in time was at first we wanted Wesley Covens to unlock the Morpher because he was an ancestor of Alex Covens, or Alex, or sometimes Alex the Drill Sergeant Creep. Because when he did go back in time, He made us put our old uniforms back on, bitched at us for not doing for being friendly, complained that we weren't doing everything we could do to bring Randzik in quicker, and pretty much blasted Wesley for being a civilian and not a Time Force officer. But he pretty much realized that we were doing. He pretty much changed his tune when he saw how tough we were, how we were fighting against Randzik, and he saw how he was wrong about us. We had to prove ourselves to Alex at that time. But Alex eventually said, "Hey, look, I was wrong about you guys. You guys are doing a good job. Keep it up. Hope to come home soon." Now, everyone's going to probably ask me one other little question about me. I had a friend who was a mutant race car driver, and he was involved in some serious acts. He had caused some serious accidents, and somehow he gotten in colludes with Randzik, and he started hurting people. And I had to talk him out of it. I had to say, "Hey, look, you can't go around hurting people and doing things that are wrong." And eventually my friend listened to me, and he eventually, brought himself in. And I said, "Hey, one of these days you're going to make a great race car driver. You're going to win a trophy. But you have to realize that if you do all of these wrong things," because he used to go around and steal cars, okay? That was what he used to do. So I know I'm kind of relenting about my time, Power Rangers Time Force. So, and another thing, Lucas says, we also teamed up with the Lightspeed Power Rangers when Randzik and Vipra teamed up together. That episode was called Ready for Time for Time Force. It was called Time for Lightspeed was the name of that episode. So that was two things stick out. Crossing over with the Lightspeed Rescue Power Rangers, the Wild Force Power Rangers. So that's it. I'm Lucas. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I'm Lucas, aka the Time Force Blue Ranger. Hope you enjoyed this video.